Hello, everyone. Tammy here. Welcome to my channel. I have my sister with me from
Hello.
Tapping Flamingo and Be Creative with Terry Jeanette. She has two YouTube channels, and I will have @ signs down below there if you want to go check them both out. And today we're talking more about virtual Blythe retreat. And we have our
Yay!
we have our
Got our old
ballerinas
dancers.
today.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to do different types of dance. The theme of the virtual Blythe retreat that's going to run this June 5th, 6th, and 7th is Dance Like Nobody's Watching. And Terry had put together her little doll. And I saw that on, was it on YouTube? You posted that little video of her?
Yes, it's on my Be Create. I think it's on my Be Creative.
Yeah, super
It's just a
cute.
little, yeah.
Yeah, so we thought instead of t pulling Love Jayla out, who we've been using for our last few VBR
She
videos.
is hanging out,
Oh,
but she's tired.
she's been modeling some of the workshops that I've been working on stuff. So she's over there and you can't see what she's wearing right now. So I brought Odette out, like la. But
Oh, oh,
today
that's Odette. This is
this is
Jetty.
Jetty.
Jetty and
Jetty's her
Odette.
name. Oh, that's right. So anyway, so we thought today would be interesting to kind of look back on some of our past workshops. Terry and I are working right now on putting them together for 2026, and she's practically done already, I think. I got a little bit behind because I've had trigger finger, which I'm healing from that now. So, but we will be ha everything will be ready by June, no problemo. And typically, about a month or so before the retreat happens, we put out what we call an agenda, and it lists all the activities for the weekend, and that includes the workshops. So as we were kind of talking about this recently, Terry and I started looking at our old agenda, stuff that we did back in the day, and it was really interesting. So we thought this might be fun to kind of share with you guys. Again, I sort of behind the scenes, where did we start and
Oh, yeah.
where are we at, right now as far as the workshops go and the retreats. And it was really interesting. So the very first retreat we did in 2022, the theme was just peace, very, very basic. And we had a video recently where we talked about how we pick a theme. So I won't go into why we picked these different themes, just mention it was peace. And it was an event that Terry and I really threw together at the last minute. We were talking about it and we're just like, well, let's just see what happens. And so very little planning was put into it
It was
compared.
literally thrown together.
Right. Basically, especially compared to the planning that we've done ever since then for all the other, retreats each year. So, and how many workshops did we actually have that first time?
Three.
We had three. So it's a 3-day event. We have
All
each day.
three?
I know, isn't that weird? I know now we have so many that it's like, what?
Yeah, you'll see. We'll talk about the other ones.
Yeah.
It has grown quite a
Yes.
bit.
Yes. And what was interesting, so okay, so what were the three different things that we had them make?
So we had doll earrings, a pull charm workshop, and then a Blythe skirt, which was a sewing workshop. Tammy did the sewing. It was a little bit more involved than the jewelry. And
Okay.
I did the earrings, if I remember correctly. I had some little piece charms.
Oh,
And so they were
yes.
just beaded piece earrings.
Hmm.
And then the pull charm, what matched it. It was just
Hmm.
beads with the peace sign. And for those of you who are like, what is she talking about? A pull charm? Let's see. Here's an example of one. It's just basically a zipper pull. It has a lobster claw on it. Whereas with this, you can make them to match their outfits and
Hmm.
it's easy to take off and
Yeah,
on.
and I really like being able to interchange them.
Right, and you can
And
add them to different I don't know. I don't have one here I
And
can
you
show
can
you.
do both. I mean, you could have
You
beads
can use them
on the
both at the
pull
same
charm
time.
already and then add, or the pull cord and then add the charm
Mhm.
on, right?
Right.
So, yeah, so I like that they're very versatile. So that's been a very popular workshop that we've done pretty much every time.
Hmm.
And one of the things, so when I looked at the old, agenda for that, I was surprised that we only did three workshops, but it makes sense. Like I said, we put it together at the last minute.
3 days, yeah.
Yeah, a couple, and a couple of months we were doing it. And then The other thing that surprised me is I remembered we had done a Zoom meet and greet, and quite a few people, every time we do these retreats, they'll say something like, "Oh, you should do like a live thing or whatever." And it's never really worked out well. And we tell them, "Well, because we did it the first time, it didn't do so hot." I
Right.
forgot we had also done Zoom workshops, live
Do you
Zoom
remember
workshops.
Which ones were the workshops? The Zoom,
Let's see.
I
I
don't
think
remember
yours. I
which.
think it was your jewelry ones. It wasn't the sewing.
Okay.
Let me bring it up. I
Yeah,
have I
yeah.
have the agendas here on my iPad, and
My old brain doesn't remember.
yeah. So there was the meet and greet we had, and then we had a live doll earrings workshop. So you did both. You did a live version, and then also had a video version.
Oh, did I? Wow.
Yes,
How come I
yes.
don't remember
I know.
that?
I know, because she has a great memory. And
I
then
usually have a really good memory.
you do. She does. She remembers everything. And then the other one, there was a pull charms thing, and you did the same thing. You had a live version, and then you had a workshop version or a video version. So we tried it, didn't work out. Otherwise, everything else that was very successful. Obviously, the whole thing went so well that we were like, okay, we're going to do this and really, put some time into it and that kind of thing. So,
Yeah, the
yeah.
workshops, I mean, everything, it was actually very successful. Otherwise, we
Mhm.
wouldn't be doing our fifth year. But I think the reason the live stuff wasn't, and we've addressed this before, is you got to remember we're doing this and people all over the world are joining us.
Mhm.
So half of us are asleep when the other
Right.
half is awake.
And
And, you
everybody,
know,
it's busy. You get busy. I mean,
yeah.
it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, some people work on Fridays, right? So, I mean, I'm retired
Or
now,
they
but
have ball
Fridays,
games they got to go to with their
exactly,
kids or
stuff.
grandkids,
Yeah,
or,
stuff. That's
there's,
the thing too. On the weekends, especially if you have a family, you have a lot of activities and stuff. So, and this was the
yeah.
doll. This was our giveaway doll. She's a doll I customized, and I did her as part of a video challenge I did with Marna over at Dolls Rescued. And I thought, I'm going to give her away. And I keep telling myself I'm going to make her again because I called her Moonbeam. She was really, really cute. So, anyway, so that was the very first one. Just three workshops. Two of them were jewelry related. One was sewing, and I barely remember. I would bet probably I put that sewing one on my YouTube channel now, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking that the workshops that I did for that, the earrings and the pole, they would be on my tapping
Yeah,
flamingo.
you're tapping flamingo. Okay.
Yeah,
And
if
then
they're there.
2023. So that was 2022. We just threw something together. We had boho, beach boho, and this was the prize. I did another customized doll, and you may recognize that's a Malibu doll that I did. I matted her face, gave her different eye chips. I gave her a neck, what do you call it? A neck thingy, neck joint, so she could move her head around, painted her eyelids. Of course, gave her some cool pull charms and a dress and everything like that. And then we bumped it up. Let's see, how many workshops do you have?
We did. We did. There was six of them. I'm actually the one of them that you did was a beach boho dress. I thought I had one of my
Oh
ladies
yes.
in that
I'll
dress.
probably be popping some pictures up when I edit this. I might
Okay.
pop some pictures up, Terry. I think I
Oh,
have a picture of the boho dress because that was a very successful workshop. I
yes.
was like so happy because my pattern making skills are very rudimentary compared to professional pattern makers. Okay. So there's quite a few people that really are very skilled at it, and I am not. I'm still learning. I'm self-taught on that big time, and I do watch people's, videos about it, but yeah. So, and I'm very limited as far as my technology goes. I do not have something that I can do it. It's all like hand drawn and stuff like that. So
Old
th
school.
that dress is definitely old school. So that little dress, which actually I redid it, and I added a midi size. So the size that I have here that we did for the workshop was Neo size Blythe. Also fits Barbie's. And then I downsized it, the pattern pieces, and included a tutorial, and I'm selling it now on my Etsy shop, Kawaii Doll Shop. But that was very popular. A lot of people really enjoyed it, and that was one of what, six different workshops we had.
Hmm.
So we had the boho
Yeah,
dress.
we had that.
Oh, the wire
Oh,
work
oh,
wrap
why?
shell fragment. That was yours.
That was mine. Yeah. So I love to go to the beach and pick up seashells and make jewelry. Actually, here's an example of what we're talking about.
Mm,
Um, I didn't realize I was wearing it today, but I taught how to wire a shell fragment. In other words, a broken seashell.
mm.
There's a lot of really pretty broken seashells that you can find on the beach. And so I taught that. And I think I taught, let me see, didn't I also teach this kind and then a seashell that has a hole in it already? Did I do that? I
I
think I
have
may.
down here that you also did a Blythe pull charm, but I don't know what the pull charm was. Oh, you know what? I bet it was, you might be separated it, the wrap, and then use that on the pull charm. That's
Okay,
probably what you did.
maybe. And it was probably something similar, not this exact one, but probably something similar to this with a shell on it, I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking. I'm
Very
trying to
possible.
remember.
Yeah.
Boy, brain is not working here.
Yeah. And then the
Let's,
other sewing, there was a couple more sewing projects. We did a scrappy boho beach blanket, and this is actually an idea I got from Terry. She did a scrappy blanket, like a bigger one that you could wrap the doll in. And I thought, you could do that, but make it like an actual beach size, like a beach towel size. And that was, again, that was a really popular one. Great way to use up your scraps. We're always trying to find ways to use up scraps. So yeah, so that was one. And then as far as other scraps go, the other one was a tote bag,
yeah,
which
I
I
do have
think
that.
I
Yeah.
think I have.
Here it is right here.
Oh yes.
These were really cute.
I still really like those. Those are super fun. So again, you don't need hardly any supplies to do it. Very, in fact, I was able to use just like leftover pieces and get that little
Yeah,
word
get the
out there,
little, yeah.
relax, and
I
get
think
that.
these were the earrings we did, if I'm not mistaken. It was
Might
something
have been.
boho like this. Um,
And so yeah, so and that's it, tassel earrings. So those might have
okay,
been them, tassel
those were
earrings.
the
Yeah.
earrings. Yeah, here, let me see. And the earrings I do, I mean, I could wear these.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you and your doll can share them. And
So
we had, we did have except for the hemp, the beads and all, to make these were in the goodie bags that we offer.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, the first time we did have some supplies in the goodie bag, but after that we ramped up the supplies. The first time we did 20 goodie bags, they sold out in like less
Oh,
than 3 days.
yeah.
The next time we did 30 and they sold out pretty quickly. And then anyway, what did we do? We do 40 or 50 or something?
I
Anyway,
think we did 50 and it was like, maybe
yeah.
that's too
Yeah.
much.
We're
So
bringing we I don't know if we've
we're bringing
mentioned
it
that, but
back.
we're bringing them back down. We will not be doing 50 goodie bags for a while. That's for sure. So yeah, so that was 2003. We had six workshops. And that, like I said, that was 2003 Boho Beach.
23.
That's when we really spent time organizing ourselves for
Yeah,
real.
2023. And that was the first year we actually did a t-shirt too.
That's right. That's right. The first year, because we just did not have the first time we, like I said, a couple of months, bing and a bang, we slapped them together. This time we actually had t-shirts. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And we were thinking about doing it, but then when I saw Yuri actually make some for the first retreat, I told Terry, I said, we have to do that. Look how cute. He made the cutest
Oh
little
yeah.
t-shirts for his dolls that, I was like, so. And then 2024, we had nine workshops. We went kind of crazy.
Okay, we went crazy, but we had two dolls that we were
Yeah.
doing.
We were almost going to do three, and then we were like, girl, you got to pull it back a little bit.
We would have had to have a whole week.
Yeah, it was just too much. It was going to be too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so let me pull up that agenda. And
So
by the way,
I've got some of them
oh,
here.
cute. Yeah, I have mine in the next room in a little display. That's cute. Very cute.
So we
Yeah,
learned
so
to make the mermaid tail.
we had two characters that we made. The retreats, the theme was Party Under the Sea, and we made a jellyfish princess and a mermaid queen. Very so
I'll show you her in
adorable.
a minute.
So adorable. And our prize, our grand prize, this is also we stepped it up and we had Fanny Flamingo new in box as the grand prize. So, and let me say, if anybody's interested in looking at these old agendas, let me know. I was thinking if people want to just kind of look back, or especially if you've never been to a retreat and you kind of like, well, what exactly do you do?
Right, yeah.
Agendas, we don't have the one ready for 2026 yet, but we do have the one from last year if you want to look at it.
So we
Nine.
had, okay, we had the mermaid tail and we had a,
There were
so,
two, so there were two type. I did the mermaid tail. There were two versions.
yeah.
Terry has one. I'll have a picture. I'll put a picture of the other of mine wearing a different one. So I did one like that where the netting was the tail, the bottom of the tail, and then I did one where you stuffed it.
Hmm.
So it was like more three-dimensional.
Right,
And then they all had the same tubey thing of the that.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
Which this isn't it.
right. No, I mean the top tube, the
Right, yeah.
top
I'm
part.
saying what she's got on is
Oh,
not it.
yeah, we also had a bandeau top. So, let me look at this. So we had the workshop list was mermaid tail. Like I said, there was two versions of it, and then the bandeau top, which both of those were sewing projects. And what the bandeau top was, again, I'll have a picture because I do have it. My mermaid doll is wearing it, and I'll put a picture up here in between us. And that was something that not only could we use for the mermaid, but we could also use it for the jellyfish princess.
Right. She,
So, in fact, my jellyfish princess is wearing hers right now.
I thought maybe mine was not. I put
And
mine
then,
in the t-shirt.
and then we made them. So we had workshops all for the mermaid. So we had the tail, the bandeau top, and a crown made with a shell. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
this was the
because so she
crown.
was like a queen and she had her crown, you know, and you could attach it, different ways. And then there was a mermaid pull charm. Yeah, then there was a mermaid
Oh,
pull charm.
this is it
Yeah,
right here.
yeah, with the fin on it. Very cute. And that's like wire wrap. Terry's talked about what showed some wire wrapping of the beads and stuff. So, you know, even though we do uh similar projects each time. Like we almost always do earrings and always do pull charm. Terry always has like something else added to it. Like the first year
A
might have
different
been just,
style. Hmm.
yeah, she has some sort of extra technique each time to it. So there's a little, it's not just the same project with different beads. Honestly, she does have something extra. And then we had jellyfish. One, two, three. We had four jellyfish
We also
related.
we did earrings that matched the pull charm
Oh,
for her.
okay.
Yeah. So, okay, now we're going to move on to
Yeah,
the
the mermaid earrings, right?
yes, we had mermaid earrings.
Yeah.
She doesn't have them on.
Yeah.
So let's move on to this
Yeah, so then
gal.
there were four jellyfish ones. Yeah.
Mhm.
Her jellyfish earrings are amazing. I those are stand out. Stand out.
Yeah, these were fun. So we had the jellyfish earrings. We had
It's
uh
flipped around in the front. You're looking for
I'm looking for the
the
pole. Here
yeah,
it is. Okay. This was the pole charm,
yeah. Again, very like
the
all this idea
tassel.
of like tentacles. Yeah.
Yep. What else?
The crown that she's got
Oh, the
on.
crown. And the skirt is a no-sew skirt,
Yeah.
which actually I did this same thing for my ballerina.
Yeah,
Just
so anybody
netting.
out there, if you're going to be joining us for the dance themed video or retreat, the dance themed retreat, think about that, no sew project that you did with your jellyfish, and you could just repeat
Yeah.
it
And I
and
do
just
have
use
this.
tool.
I have a tutorial of this on my Be Creative channel.
Okay, great. Okay,
So,
good. So,
see what else?
and of course, so earrings, pull charm, crown. and the no sew skirt. And then, like I said, the bandeau top we did, you could do for either one. Terry's got the little t-shirt on. We had those t-shirts are my favorite that we've ever
Mine
had.
too.
The no that I will say, wait till you see when we're the t-shirts for
Oh,
2026 are coming very, very soon.
they're probably going to
Um,
be the favorite.
and they are so cute. Like they're in line with that one, I feel like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So we actually had somebody who has been to some of the retreats help us out this time, and it really make with the t-shirts, and it makes such a difference because when you go to these t-shirt people, tell them, okay, we need a t-shirt for a doll this size. Like they just, it's
Well, they don't, it's so funny because well, one of the ladies that I've worked with, I know her personally. I go to church with her and I see her all the time. So I brought a doll and I brought the shirt
yes,
because I was trying to explain to her and she's like, "So you want it for an adult?" And I'm like, "No, no, for the doll." But once I showed her the doll, I showed her what the retreat was all about. She's like, "Oh, okay." And she was excited about doing them.
yeah. It's
Um,
just that it with somebody who already is a Blythe collector and everything,
I get
it
it.
just was like much more streamlined communication. Like she knew what to do. Like
Well,
boom.
it's like somebody I had reached out to. I don't think she ever figured out it was for a little doll because she was going to charge $20. I'm giving her the t-shirts.
Yeah,
Okay.
we give them the t-shirts.
And she it was $10 because I was giving her the t-shirts. But if I wasn't giving her, it would have been $20 per t-shirt. I'm like, no, 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 it's not big. It's a bitty thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I get it. I mean, it's still, it's not like just because it's smaller, that it's less work. But,
Right.
I mean, yeah. So, but anyway, so yeah, so that was the Party Under the Sea 2024 workshops. We had nine, and then we were really like getting our groove on and stuff like that. So 2025 comes along, and our theme is spread kindness. And we still have, look how cute she is. And we had another wonderful time with everybody. This time we had nine, no, we had 10 workshops
And
this time, right? So
yeah.
2024 was nine, bumped it up to 10. And not only that, but we had a couple of guest artists this time. Again, we had
Yes.
people were like, we like you guys, but sure would like to have other people teaching in the workshops. And so thankfully we had some people we could reach out to who were wonderful about joining us. And we had, for example, one of the workshops was run by Beth Ramsden, and she has a YouTube channel. If you're not familiar
Mhm.
with her, very popular. She did an amazing video where she took a Blythe doll from AliExpress, totally took the doll apart. Okay. Totally just did a whole thing on how to customize the doll from soup to nuts, the whole enchilada. And I mean, wow, it was such a good video. So we're really grateful she spent the time on that for us. She has, like I said, a really successful YouTube channel, and she also is on Patreon. So if you're interested in, she does stuff for Blythe dolls, but also she does a lot of smart dolls. She's done the little Maury dolls. So if you're really into
Very talented.
yeah,
Yeah.
making things, especially customizing, want to learn about customizing, definitely check out her channel for that kind of information. So that was one of our first, artists that helped us out there. And then our other guest artist was Maida Gallard, and she also blew it away with an amazing video about photography. So that was another thing people kept asking about, photographing their dolls. And Terry and I, obviously, we do that. But, when you see her photographs, I
We
mean,
do it, but not at that level.
no, no, she is definitely at a completely different professional level. And she did another very deep dive video about it, which you can also now see on her channel. When we have guest artists like this, we ask them um, to have an exclusive rights to their video for our retreat for 6 months. And then after 6 months, they're fine to put them wherever they want to put them. But we just ask that they do that for us so that there's some value in there for our participants.
Hmm.
And so that was two of the 10. Let's see, what else did we?
Right.
What were some other videos? Because we,
Well, we had this wasn't really a workshop, but we had a guest
oh right,
that is an influencer, and she has celiacs. Casey Crumwell, she is the college celiac, and I interviewed her on, what it's like, what you have to do, to
Yeah,
be
she has a
an
very
influencer.
popular Instagram channel and or whatever you call it,
She's
and
on YouTube,
she's also on
Instagram,
YouTube.
TikTok,
Yeah. Yeah. So
Facebook.
she's a professional influencer in that that's how
Yes.
she makes her living. And our character this time, last time, like we said, we had a jellyfish princess and a mermaid queen. This time around, we had an internet influencer. Our little character was an internet influencer.
Hmm.
And so we thought, well, it'd be nice to talk to somebody who actually does that. And Terry just happens to know her. So she was really nice about having a little interview with us. And so, yeah, so that was really interesting. And then I would also like to mention, even though it wasn't workshop related, while we are talking about our guests, guest appearances, guest artists, that kind of thing, this 2025 and also 2024, we had Karen from over at Starch and Stitches and what is it? Karen Lewis Bonfiglio. I think I'm saying her last name right. Um, and she's over at Starch and Stitches on YouTube. And she's a professional graphic artist, and she actually did a coloring page both of those times for us. And just
Hmm.
to let you know, she's going to do it again. She's got something up her sleeve this time,
Working
and
on
she's
that
also,
now.
yeah, she's working on that now, and we will have that. We like to have it available. Our coloring book, our coloring page, we typically have available a little bit before the retreat starts. So that was super fun. I'll put some pictures of the colored pages up here, but that was really a neat kind of added bit. It's not a workshop, but it's a fun
Mhm.
activity for everybody, and they've been very popular. So yeah, so we had uh, really, I guess, four different artists sort of help us out there this past
Hmm.
2025. Um, and then as far as the workshops go, other workshops, we started off with a stitch marker workshop. Terry made had showed you how to make a
Yes.
stitch marker. So the reason why we had the stitch marker was because the next project was how to crochet a little skirt for your doll, and you have to crochet in the round. So we thought, stitch marker, let's make a stitch marker for that. It's very important to have that when you're crocheting in the round, makes things a lot easier. And so those are two of the projects. So we started out that weekend first with the stitch marker and then with the skirt. Then was followed by the that was followed by the photography video. I'm looking at my list here of
Yeah,
workshops.
yeah.
Right. And then oh, the doll bracelet. That was another jewelry related one, and that was a new one. Look how cute.
And the thing is with this bracelet, I mean, you could make it for like, of course, you'd have to make it bigger,
Right,
but
right.
for American Girl doll or a
Mhm.
smart doll or whatever, I adapted it so you can make it for whatever doll.
Right.
But
So she shows how
this
to
was
make it
very,
she showed how to make it for our Blythe dolls, but it's a technique that's very useful for other dolls. And I've used that technique for bracelets for a lot of different other size dolls. So it's really nice. And then, oh, also another crochet project. Again, people had asked about crochet, so we had some crochet this
oh,
time. Was a crossbody bag, a little
I
crossbody
meant to
crochet
have
bag.
that.
Yeah, I'll have some pictures. I know I'm pretty sure I have a picture of my doll with the little crochet bag across her. Because if you're an internet influencer, you got to have some place to put your cell phone, when you're out and about.
Which they had cell phones.
They did. They had, yeah, in the goodie bags, we had little cell phones, so those are really fun. And then, like I said, we had Beth's, we called it a face up demonstration, but it was more than that because, like I said, she took the whole doll apart and that was wonderful. And then the
Yeah.
sewing project was a doll visor. Again, I'll have a picture of somebody, one of the dollies wearing the visor.
Now
That
we
was,
kind of got that idea from the grand prize
that's right.
doll.
I forgot to mention, right. The grand prize was, let's see if I can get a picture of her.
Was it Fighting Milk?
Yeah, I think I have a picture. Fighting Milk was our grand prize that time.
And she had a
And
visor, so Tammy, she came up with the pattern for it and taught a class on how to make the
yeah,
visor.
Fighting Milk had a visor and a little jacket and a little dress and tennis shoes and everything. So we kind of modeled our character a little bit off of, that stock
Hmm.
doll. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, the visor was very popular. People really liked that. Um, that took quite a bit for me to figure out how to put together, but I did it. And some of the other, we had another pull charm
Yep,
that she put
that was
together
this.
with smiley faces. Those were super cute. And the earrings. Oh, button earrings. That's right. Those
They were
button
button
earrings.
earrings.
Very, very cute. I love it. With those were hearts because hearts,
Mhm.
spreading kindness, heart was kind of our thing.
Yeah, I
Um,
was able to find tiny little heart earrings. I'm like, I gotta figure out something to do with those. So
yeah,
we
those
made
little,
earrings.
yeah, very cute
So,
buttons.
and
And
again,
then,
I could wear those if I wanted to.
yes, they're fine for people's. And then finally, the last one was the puppy dog prop that Terry made a puppy dog out of pipe cleaners.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
And again, she had to fiddle around a lot with that before she came up with and you could give it little eyeballs. I
You
mean,
give it
again,
little
this
eyes.
is
His hair's
people.
too long and it's covering his eyes, so that's
Yeah,
why you can't see his eyes.
exactly. People like this is another project where people were kind of like, what is happening here? But then they went crazy with it and people made all kinds of other little
Oh,
animals
they
and
had all kinds of little puppy dogs. And it's really funny because this was actually the favorite and least favorite
yes.
workshop. They
Yeah,
either loved it or hated it. And a
we
lot
did
of
yeah.
them said, at first they're like, what? And then when they started making them, they absolutely fell in love with these puppies.
Yeah, and they're a really good size for this size doll. I think scale
Yeah.
wise,
It's
they're
like a
adult.
little,
Yeah,
put
you
it
could
in your bag. She actually, it fit in the bag.
in the crossbody bag. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's, you can see like every year we ramped it up. The workshops grew and grew. And there, as I always say in these videos when Terry and I talk about this, we have other activities during the week that are really fun, a lot of interactive activities where people get to know each other and show pictures of their dolls and that kind of thing. And that's, a big, big part of it. But the workshops are to me the meat of it. It's because
Right.
like if you went to an actual retreat, you would be sitting down making stuff with people, right? And that's kind of what we're trying to replicate as much as possible.
Right.
Um,
And we're trying to what we're doing like for instance, I'm going to take Jayla this time and I'm going to turn her into a dancer. That's why right now she has no earrings, nothing. She came,
hmm.
this is how she came out of the box, and I'm leaving her at that until we start the workshops. And at the end of the retreat, she's going to be a dancer.
Right, right. So that's something I guess is useful to mention. If you're going to join us in June, which we hope you do again, June 5th, 6th, and 7th, 2026, for our retreat that is done virtually through a Facebook group, we encourage you to start thinking now about the doll you'd like to use. I mean, have one or two dolls. You could easily have a couple of dolls. And that's when the thing is with these projects, like you can make multiple
Right.
items, like with the visor, you could make multiple visors when we had the visor project and multiple little skirts and stuff. It's none of the projects are like so time intensive that you can't do them more than once during the weekend.
Right. Right.
So it might be a good reason why maybe you need to buy a new doll. I don't know.
Or, I mean, it's like with me,
Or shop your
I don't know
stash.
if you can see them. I mean, I got all these dolls. I've shown you. Well, I can't. There we go. I
Mhm.
have all these dolls plus all the ones I was showing you.
Yeah.
Definitely, Jayla is not the only one coming to the virtual Blythe
Right,
retreat.
right. Yes, exactly. Yes. So, yeah, look to see maybe you have somebody already in your collection that would be a good pick. That it would be fun to kind of turn this doll into a character that you haven't, thought of before. So, just kind of putting that out there. But anyway, the workshops are really fun. Like I said, they're the main, when I try to explain to people what this is, it's really a crafting workshop,
Yes.
it is a crafting workshop. It's for people who like to make things. If you're just a type of, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of collectors who they just collect the dolls. Maybe they buy stuff for the dolls or whatever, but they don't really make things for the dolls. Maybe they're just really into display dolls, for example. This retreat might not be their thing, but then again, I feel like, especially with Blythe, she kind of lends herself, and I mean, for me, the dolls, I like, even if I'm not making all of their stuff, maybe I'm buying, clothes for them like I do with some of these dolls here. Just the idea of redressing them and creating a display, for them, I think is really fun. And I feel like that is a creative pursuit in itself.
Right. I do have a question for you.
Mhm.
So I don't have a Blythe doll. Could I bring another doll?
Yes, all dolls are welcome. And I will say, some of the projects, like for example, when we did the visor, that is really for a Blythe doll, okay, because of the big honking head. However, it could easily have been altered. I think I remember trying it on and it was a little snug on American Girl dolls.
Right.
But if you wanted to alter any of the projects for other dolls, you can do that. And some people have done that with Barbies, for example, because they also are 1/6 scale. Barbies are a little bit bigger than the Blythe doll, but a lot of the projects can, and they did that like with the very first one where I'd made that little dress, that boho dress. That was the
Oh
second
yeah,
the
yeah.
boho beach boho one. That fit Barbie no problem. The standard Barbie fit no problem. So, and I kind of feel like a number of the projects we're going to be doing, without spilling the beans yet, um, one of them in particular could easily be changed a smidgy bit if necessary to fit Barbie for sure. Yeah. So we all dolls are welcome. Definitely. Yeah. Good question. Mm. And to just mention that, so we are working on putting together all of the workshops at this point and the agenda for 2026. We typically will spill all the beans about 6 weeks before the retreat, and that gives us plenty of time to make sure everything is hunky-dory because stuff happens. And we will have the retreat passes and all that good stuff available in the Kauai Doll Shop, and we will be blabbing about that when they're available. And we do have more news. We're going to talk about the prizes. We have some amazing prizes this time. We have definitely leveled it up a little bit again. So thank you to our generous donors for that.
Yeah.
You guys are going to freak out when you find out the prizes. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. So I will let you guys go. Is there anything else you want to add, Terry, about the workshops?
Nope, I think that pretty much rounds it up.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for spending the time with us again, and let us know in the comments if you have any questions. As usual, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We're looking forward to seeing some of you guys at the next retreat. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.